Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back. That's Alan. Welcome back to Wheel Takes with Ali and Gus, and today we are joined by
Alan from the Will Reads.
and we are here to discuss the week's action in the Grinwell Cup. If you are not sure what's going on, the Grinwell Cup is a series of polls that we have put on our Twitter, twitter.com/wheeltakespodcast, where we are asking you to tell us who you think, by any metric, is the hottest character in the Wheel of Time. What does any metric mean, Ellie?
Any metric at all, whether you think that maybe they just have a very high temperature, or, you have the pants feelings for them, or whatever your definition is, because hotness is subjective.
Or they have, once I pointed to, they have fire in their eyes. I think that's hot. Would you agree, Alan?
Yeah, that's
Somebody
hot.
pointed
By
out on
most
Twitter the
definitions.
other day, I would like to light this person on fire the most. And I'm like,
And sometimes that's what
that's
it
a
takes.
fair metric.
And I gotta say, some of the polls we had this week were perhaps characters who were less beloved. I would say. I know you kept up. You saw some of the polls, but you wanted to stay a little in the dark for the purposes of conversation, Alan. But,
Yeah, I mean, if they popped up on my feed, I saw them and I voted on them, but I wasn't out there intentionally looking for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any that particularly stood out to you as more or less exciting?
Wasn't Albert Lujan one?
She was on one of them.
Do love
that was
her.
one of them.
Elspeth Lujan was on one of them.
I could go up. I will go up about Elspeth. But we are a first-time reader podcast. Probably all of you know that. But just in case you don't know, I have not read past book 5, chapter 15. To be more specific, Couladin is moving toward the something pass.
Jangai.
Thank you.
Jangai, right? I forget.
Jangai,
Jangai, yeah.
Pass?
That sounds right. That's a place.
Sounds
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes, now.
Elaine's being weird to Tom, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I
We
guess
haven't
the
seen Perrin in a
circus
while.
just showed up. Yeah, and we haven't seen Perrin in a billion years. And that's where we're at. Alan, tell us a little bit about Wheel Reads.
Sure, yeah. We are a first-time reader podcast as well. It's myself and my two co-hosts, which unfortunately could not make it tonight, Chris and Ian. They're both first-time readers. I convinced them, suckered them into doing a podcast, and surprisingly, they stuck with it. But Ian's doing his army duty this week, and Chris is going back live to teaching at school, so he has to wake up early in the morning adjusting to it.
Understood.
But I'm here. But yeah, so yeah, we're first time reader podcast. A lot of fun. Similar to what you guys do. I mean, obviously, it's a different dynamic just because you have two, and we definitely are the male versus we're just friends versus a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes for some different dynamic.
A different
Different
dynamic,
dynamic.
a different take, fresh take.
Mhm.
Sure.
We had a ton of fun when
Different
we joined
life
you guys a few
experiences.
months ago, and I should also mention that the Wheel Reads is the
Oh, yeah.
exclusive provider of our drinkware tonight.
Today, this podcast is brought to you by
by
Wheel
the Wheel
Reads.
Reads. We say that kind of stuff a lot. Today, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We're so happy to have you, Alan. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, we're very grateful.
We had regardless of whether or not we had beloved characters, I was very excited about some of these polls because I was like, it's a real no-win situation.
Well, no lose situation almost.
Or no lose situation. So
No matter who gets eliminated, I think some people would have been. I think some people were rooting for a no contest on some of these.
Yeah.
So in a lot of
but
ways,
I was like, to me, they were some of the more interesting brackets because I was like, obviously Min's gonna blow out most people.
Yeah.
And of course, when you're doing prelims, you want to seed people like the big hitters, not against each other, because otherwise you end up with Lanfear and
See,
Pater in the finale.
we
Not that
say
there's
that,
anything wrong with Pater.
But last week who did we put against each other? We put Abel, Tam, and Rourke against each other,
Listen,
which
we
in
did.
hindsight was cruel.
Which in hindsight was cool. But
Here
we
the
wanted
Will
to have
Reads,
some
we are-
interesting ones.
Yeah, here at the Will Reads, we are Team Pater. I mean, we sell Team Pater
Get it?
t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Pater was actually, I think, he was in the bracket this week.
Yeah, he was.
I think
so we'll talk
we
about him
explicitly put him in the bracket
for you.
for you guys.
Oh, nice.
Or
Okay.
was he in the bracket
Okay,
last
nice.
We
week?
put Matt in the
Oh,
bracket.
he was in the bracket
Oh
last week.
no. Well, we can talk about him anyway. But we put Matt in the bracket for Danny because we know Danny loves Matt. So we tried to.
Good.
Oh,
good,
and
yeah.
we're sad Ian isn't here because we put Ingtar in the bracket specifically for Ian because we know.
Aw,
And
he loves
Ballsy.
Ingtar. Yeah,
It's
he loves
okay.
Lanfear more, but that's a whole nother.
Well, we also put Lanfear in the. No, we didn't. Yes, we did.
We did.
We
Lanfear's in
did.
here.
We
Of course
also
Lanfear's
put
in here.
Lanfear, his girlfriend, in here for him too.
Yeah.
So everyone yell at Ian. Send your hate mail to ian@gmail.com.
Ellie's new favorite bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
it'll be here until it's not.
So, last week we went through the polls one by one from the first of the week to the last of the week. I like change. I think this week we should start with the most recent poll and work our way through to the oldest one.
Okay,
What do you think?
I like it.
Good?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't object.
Anything else before we get underway? Discussion about the poll, about the Wheel of Time, about today, about anything. Great, let's roll.
All right.
So
Got
the most
nothing.
recent poll we did, not counting the one that's live right now, was Min versus Elias Machira versus the one and only Days Conger. I like to say
Oh.
Daisy, but apparently it's Days.
Days. Yeah.
Now, Alan, who would you expect to come out ahead in a Twitter poll for this?
Between those three,
Yeah.
So you have Days, you have
Elias,
Elias, and
Min.
oh yeah, well man.
Yeah, Min. I think most people agreed with that. Did you?
I mean,
Listen, they can't all be bangers. Sometimes we have a blowout.
what were you saying? Alan?
Elias has that fanning beard though. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree, and a lot of people think
like-
of him as a Nick Offerman looking guy.
Yeah, he
Right?
serves Wolfman realness, and we like that.
He's a
He's
survival
definitely
guy.
got like bear vibes. That we can work with that.
He knows
That's hot.
he's good in the outdoor, very good in the outdoors.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I bet you could chop wood like a mofo, which
Probably
is a
could.
thing on TikTok now that's like very sexually charged. So
Tumultuous backstory, right?
Mhm.
Have you ever chopped wood?
Oh
He-
yeah,
he's
I have.
good with
Have-
dogs.
Have you chopped wood?
probably what?
Have you ever chopped wood?
Fuck no.
It-
When
it
would I have
sucks.
ever?
It sucks. It's
Um,
awful.
yeah, we had a tree fall down our front yard, and I got all the wood from it. It was a red oak, and I spent hours out there chopping wood, and I hate chopping wood.
But you had a bunch of. Did you burn? Do you have a wood burning fireplace?
I
Were you able to-
have a fire pit.
Yeah.
My family is firmly a city family, and I'm okay with it. I've never chopped wood until like, I don't know, 2 months ago. I'd never shoveled the driveway. Like,
Oh,
no.
I used to work for a construction and maintenance company, and one day there was a big storm and a bunch of trees blew down. And trees get blown down, you have to cut them up. We were lucky enough to have a chainsaw, but I will always associate cutting wood with this particular event because my dad, who also worked for this company, and I we were chainsawing this pine tree and tear a branch off, grab it, throw it away, tear a branch off, grab it, throw it away. And midway through the process, we both noticed that there were some bugs kind of flying at us and we were swatting them away. And 10 seconds later, we noticed that they were crawling on us. And 3 seconds after that, we realized there had been a wasp's nest sandwiched between two branches that we had torn in half and thrown away.
That's a big fuck no for me.
So I would take chopping wood over that any day.
yeah,
And Elias Machera, I think, would know what to do in that situation,
I think so too.
which I think is a big point in his favor.
I also love a man who loves dogs. And
So we
wolves are
talk-
close.
Yeah, we talked about it on our podcast. I guess it was an Eye of the World when Rand's chopping wood right before winter night. There's that scene, and we had a whole entire bit about it. And I talked about how much I hate chopping wood. And Chris, of course, said that he loves chopping wood.
That makes
Chris-
so much sense.
Because Chris is a giant, so you can just take down the whole entire tree in one swing, and it's no problem. Doesn't bring a sweat.
I bet Elias could too.
I bet, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Now, I
There's provider vibes.
don't
from
mean to
Elias.
just be pushing Elias Machera. I just thought this would be a little bit closer than it
Gus,
was.
as someone who
you got
loves the
mad,
outdoors,
though.
why are you pushing Elias?
Because he's cool. He's got a beard. Alan, you know what I'm talking about. He's got a beard. You said
You're
this
like,
earlier.
love for the
Yeah.
bearded men. Come on now.
I had to trim this for the first time in I don't know how long, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I
we
had to
knew we knew Min would be
We knew Min would
a
just
blowout,
crush
no
it.
matter who she.
Chad
like-
is full of the lamp stomped the round.
Does that mean that she's Rand's light?
Oh,
Aw.
maybe that is why people sometimes refer to her as a lamp.
So someone said, "I hope you didn't make a throne out of that tree, Alan." Well, I didn't cut the tree down, so let's preface that first. I guess I did say we cut the tree down. So the tree actually got struck by lightning, and it was dying anyway, so we cut the rest of it down.
Yeah. Well, that's responsible.
Okay, I don't know if the IO would take that as an excuse.
I don't know if they would either.
Yeah, if I'm imagining what's his face, fuckface.
The
What's his name?
majority of it fell in our house.
No,
so it was
no.
not fun.
No. The one who cut it, lame man.
Oh, lame man.
The lame man cut down the tree, and like, imagine if it was like it was dying, it had tree rot, it was killing all of our trees, and IO were like, "I'm not interested in your excuses."
Yeah.
Yeah. As a reminder for folks who have joined in the past 10, 15 minutes, spoiler scope is through us, through Allie, which is book 5. So if you're here current with reads, know that we're going to talk a little bit ahead, a few books ahead of where you guys are at. So tread cautiously. We will try not to be extremely explicit in case people hop in midway through, but I think some minor plot details will probably be mentioned. I say that because I'm about to mention in reference to trees catching fire. As far as we know, they haven't cut down Avendasora yet, and that got burned up quite bad.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, where were we? We're talking about Min. Oh, Daisy Conger. Should we take a second and throw in some?
Is that Wit's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. She's
gives
the
me-
like stand-in wisdom.
She gives me massive Karen vibes. However, I also kind of love her because she's such an unapologetic hypocrite, and that makes me like laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm always here for somebody who's like funny and like largely harmless, just kind of annoying. But hot, I wouldn't.
Yeah, the Discord, not the Discord, the Twitter agreed with you. Twitter gave her, I think, the lowest percentage of votes we've seen so far.
Definitely not. Jarrett Byar.
Jarrett Byar got more. This is 2.9% of votes for Daisy Conger of 103. Elias came in
Jarrett
second.
Byar? You all want to bang Jarrett Byar more than Days Conger?
Maybe they wanted to.
There are more people in the world
throw him
who
into
are
a
hot
fire.
for Jarrett Byar than Days fucking Conger.
Well, there's the Coplans and the Congers. They're not the most friendly people.
What?
What's a big
Mr.
family?
Kill my sisters first. You want that?
That's not Jarrett Byar.
Which one's that one?
Jacob Carradine.
Those two are the same to me. Jarrett Byar sucks too, though.
Byer's the skinny guy that beats the crap out of Perrin.
Oh my god. You mean
He
the one
hates Perrin.
the one that's like, I think he's got like weird sunken eyeballs. Like
totally does.
Yep, totally
He's
does.
also-
And he beats the crap out of both Egwene and Perrin in the tent. Like, just
this is who you want to lay with?
He's also
Wheel of
very
Time
funny on
fans?
Twitter.
This is who? Over Dave? Wrong.
Do
Wrong
we
for
need to say
days.
much about Min?
She's
I think she speaks for herself almost. She's like,
You know, somebody brought up to me that like she's like the cool girl that everybody has a crush on, and I agree. I love that she's unapologetically wearing pants at a time where that's subversive. Yes, and I love that she's a cool girl without being that like cool girl stereotype that's like just like hates women, you know? Like she's in when I should define what I mean by that. In that there's a lot of like cool girls where it's like a little bit vaguely misogynistic of like she's not like other girls. And somehow that's like a positive thing because femininity is stupid. And she's not like that at all. She's like all about like her female friend. She just loves a good pair of gauchos, and we love that for her.
Yeah. Well, Elias is cool with the Tinkers too, you know.
Yeah. I also
is
love
cool.
her like predictions.
He is cool with the Tinkers.
She's very That's So Raven to me. I love that she's like, you know, if I were to dedicate a song to her character right now, it'd be like "You Belong with Me" by Taylor Swift, which I love.
she can also throw knives.
And she can throw knives. Everyone loves a girl who can
Yeah.
throw knives. Bayou can throw knives too, right?
Yes, she can.
Yeah, she can.
She can.
It's the cooler version of throwing.
She doesn't
hands.
have her best knives anymore because
No,
Rourke
Rourke
took
took those.
them.
Yep.
That was funny as shit.
I have a friend of mine that throws knives professionally, and I kept on trying to ask him if he was going to be a consultant on the show. But,
So
He didn't-
cool.
well, he was consultant for Walking Dead, so he actually does.
Oh, that's so
Um,
sick.
Yeah, so he taught Rick how to do the tomahawk thing. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so he actually.
So yeah, you absolutely could
He's
have done that.
actually he probably could have been. So I was bugging him like, hey, have you heard of this show? Have they asked you? Because he's ranked in the world, like 8th in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have like the
Which I didn't know this thing.
you deliver these
You're like,
things like,
well, you know.
well, you know,
Yeah, I know this guy.
this is a casual, like, if I knew
The world
somebody
famous
who
knife
was that
thrower.
cool, I'd be like, y'all, listen up. I'm way more interesting than you.
Well, so I know this guy for years too, through work, because he actually works as a vendor for a company I work for, and we had been out to bars and I talked like at work a ton of times, and it came up casually at a bar one night. Like we actually got a little drunk. He was like, yeah, I have to go to Germany next week, and I was like, what are you doing in Germany? Like all your work's here in America. It's like, oh yeah, I'm on the U.S. nicest team for professional knife throwing. I was like, well, time out. We've known each other for like 3 or 4 years, and you just bring this up now. Like I would have led with that. Like, hey, you want to be
Yeah.
friends? I can throw knives. Yes.
And I would have been like, sign me up for your friend. You know what? He probably is very self-conscious of the fact that people might be friends with him just because he's a knife thrower. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
he
Yeah.
wants to make personal connections before he reveals that. So that people don't use him for the knives.
Here's my question for you. Knowing that we have 97% of votes to split between Min and Elias, how big do you think the chasm between the two of them is
Chasm, Jesus.
in votes? Is it this big? Is it this big?
It's probably gigantic.
It's massive. It's massive. Min had 85.5% of the
Got
votes.
crushed.
Elias got 12%, which means he does technically move into the losers bracket, or the knockout round is what I'm calling the secondary bracket.
Yeah. How's the bracket? So you actually are doing a secondary?
We're doing a secondary bracket, mostly
This is
because I
because
was really
Gus got
sad
mad.
that Gaul lost, and I love Gaul. And I like spreadsheets, so I decided it was time to add more.
Oh, me too.
Spreadsheets are great. They're so
Spreadsheets are
useful.
awesome.
People
Hey, Gus,
underestimate them.
Were
Yeah.
you an administrative assistant?
Yeah, no, I'm in IT. Hey, okay. But
Well,
yeah,
if you like spreadsheets, we just became best friends. So there you go.
yeah, it's perfect. Perfect.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah,
I
it's
love
actually-
how
we're
all
gonna
the
start
first time reader podcasts are all just like low key good friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
Makes
have
me
a
happy.
losers bracket. The second place people do get a chance to recover. Eventually, whoever wins that bracket, which I have to move things around a little bit within that, but eventually whoever wins that one goes head to head against the person who does not lose at all, and that's our grand finals. But that won't be for
The one person
the
who
one
does not lose at all?
the one person who because we're gonna have
The finalist? The like winner of the winners? That's when you're bringing it in?
so
This is news to me. I'm sorry.
So yeah, so right now we're in for people who like data. Right now we're in what I'm calling bracket, and then we go into what I'm calling the non-finals because there are 9 of them, so I can't call it a quarterfinals. Then we go into the tertiary
Don't
round,
look at me, I'm
tri-finals.
I'm not the wordsmith.
I'm not sure what the right word there is. And then the 3 winners of that will go head to head in the finals. So whoever wins that one goes up against the one person who makes it all the way through losers bracket, which might just be a rerun of this, and then they're the final winner. But
Oh.
you guys aren't here for data. You're here for hot takes
Excuse
about
me,
hot
everyone loves
characters.
data.
I'm here for spreadsheets now.
Good.
Excuse
This is now a spreadsheet podcast. Let me change
They are
the
now.
title to
Can I share my screen and like just show you my spreadsheet? No.
Grendel. Delusions of Grendel says, "Oh no, it's a spreadsheet off."
That's the kind of content,
Spreadsheets and
nerdy
IT.
content you're
Delusions
This is great.
I've shared my spreadsheets with Delusions. She's actually and Vance from Bard the Red Hand, so they've actually seen my spreadsheets.
I would also like
Triunals.
to
That's good.
examine your spreadsheets.
Ooh.
Speaking of spreading and sheets, back to
So
our.
Min won this one.
I'm so proud of that transition.
That
I'm
was very good.
self-fiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of that transition. Stop. All right.
Someone is asking where my T-shirt is from. This is a T-shirt which is from a production of Pride and Prejudice that I did in a small theater in suburban Chicago. And these are the actual profiles of the actors who played Lizzie
It's pretty dope.
and Darcy. This is my friend Sarah. This is my friend Peter. It's very comfy. There are only 20 of these, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, so
But one day we'll make merch. Okay, keeping it going.
Min moves on. Daisy Conger is she's done. She's gone. She's out for the count. And Elias Machira is in the knockout round. The next one we had was Loial versus the one and only Jarrett Bayar. versus
Yeah.
Uno.
And that is who you all want to lay with. I want the shame belt from Game of Thrones.
So I mean, as far as who I love or who I think is hot, I mean, I guess this
It's
is
your
subjectively
call.
who
That's the
That
thing.
is
man.
that
It's
is the thing,
entirely
it's
your call.
So Bayer sucks. Uno has. I mean, I can probably get past the one eye. The talking, it kind of turns me on. I'm a sailor. I like the dirty talking.
Oh yeah, he's very good
and
at it.
I love Loial. Like personality wise,
Right?
Loial has my heart.
I would sit in a room and listen to him talk about whatever.
everything.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I
Just
mean,
go on.
Yeah, Loial has my heart. So I'd have to go. You know, if it's the personality.
Yeah,
If we're doing
no,
that, yeah.
We're
let's
big
do-
on
let's-
personality.
We're big on personality.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going like one night stand, Uno.
Uno.
Yeah, definitely,
marriage,
100%.
loyal.
Sure.
Yeah. Kill
And kill
Bayer.
Bayer.
Oh, like
Yeah.
100%.
he was never a part of this equation or conversation. Period. I hate the white cloaks more than anything. Like more than I'd rather have tea with the dark one than a white cloak. And everyone's gonna be like, Allie, they're pure. The dark one's pure evil. And I'm like, I know, because I can't get behind. I can get behind a harmless hypocrite. I cannot, who's funny. I cannot get behind the like pure hypocrisy bullshit of the white cloaks. Like at least the dark one owns that they're bad. Own it. Own your bullshit.
We had some wonderful fan art and engagement on Twitter, including this picture, which I will put in the chat, of Dane Bornhold and Jarrett Bayar.
Is there a way to get it on the screen?
There might be, but I'm
we're
worried it will
not savvy
destroy
enough for
OBS
this.
again.
Yeah.
Because last time I
Exactly.
tried to open a picture, it destroyed OBS. But this is a picture of Dane Bornhold and Jarrett Bayar's faces photoshopped onto buff shirtless men.
And this will haunt my dreams
I
forever.
kind of like it. I don't know.
And your kinks are your business.
That's, yeah. It is
None
what
of
it is.
mine.
So yeah, I think this is an interesting one because there are really a couple different ways to, well, there are infinite different ways to go, but broadly speaking, there is the direction of who has the heart and who has the fire and who do I want to push into a fire, you know?
And
for this
all of
one.
that is present here.
All that is present here.
Mhm.
But we're mostly in
And some of y'all still voted for Jarrett Bayar.
almost 4% of them actually.
4%.
It's not a spoiler for me to tell you that Jarrett Bayer came in 3.5%. I'm sorry.
Our fans are perverts.
3.5%
I've
of
suddenly turned this into a shame bracket.
142. You have been naming these brackets, haven't you?
I have been naming these brackets.
Well, what was this one named?
Oh, I said it in the comments.
Oh, I could just open that, couldn't I?
It was called. Where's my comment?
It's not here.
Yeah, it's right there.
That's not you.
Oh, that's not it.
That's fine. So it had a name.
It
I
had
don't
a
know what it
name.
was.
I think it was called the Grizzly Men bracket in my head, because they're all kind of got like a bear vibe,
I see that.
you know, like they probably like nature, they could probably chop wood, and they're like grizzled a little bit, like they're not the like fresh faced clean cut dudes, you know.
Now, I will say that the guy that is rumored to be cast as Uno is very handsome,
Oh,
if we're including that. And the guy who is playing Loial is also very handsome.
yeah.
And I don't know who's playing Bayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he's in the show.
We don't know.
Let's just cut the white cloaks
Skeletor
entirely.
from
Skeletor.
He-Man?
Yeah. Actually, they
I
got
wouldn't be mad.
they got Andy Serkis to reprise his role as Gollum as Jarrett
There you
Bayer.
go. That's your bias.
Just
There you go.
he's not doing anything else. He's just doing Gollum.
Before anyone comes for me, I wasn't serious about cutting the white cloaks. I just really hate them.
We have seen their armor.
Yeah.
It
Pity.
was posted on Twitter about a year ago. It's very cool.
Pity.
So
They're still alive.
if you had to pick one though, Alan, of the three of them, here's what I'll
Loyal.
say: who do you think
Loyal.
won?
Loyal.
Loyal. It was close.
We thought
I expected
Loyal would
Loyal
win.
to win this one way or the other.
We
Ah,
thought Loyal
okay.
would win. We actually.
If Uno won, that's okay.
Uno did win, but not by a lot. This was a 10% margin.
Mm.
So Uno came ahead with 53% of the vote, and Loyal drops into the knockout round. He's got 43, which is very respectful. I mean, considering
Yeah.
respectable, considering there were 142
Sure.
votes here.
People were thinking about the Uno nightstand.
Uh,
Proud of it.
So we're gonna turn off the stream now because we can't top that joke.
Yeah. Bye.
The next bracket is Rand, Archer Hawkwing, and
Wait,
Masima.
really quickly, what
Yeah.
do we think Uno's real name is? Because there's no way his name
I
is
think it's actually Uno.
No, because either his parents were weirdly prescient or some dick came along and was like, I'm gonna call you Uno now because you have
So-
one eye.
So I have to ask Gus first. How much does Ellie know about fan theories around Wheel of Time and where it takes place?
Oh, you mean chronologically or geographically?
Geographically.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but if they're fan theories, I think it's fine.
Oh, I mean, it's never been confirmed that it actually is Earth.
Oh yeah,
You know what I could do?
Okay.
I could take this out. and-
Sure.
that's true.
So,
Here, you
so
talk.
one
I'll
of the
just-
biggest problems I had with Uno was that it's Spanish and nowhere
Oh,
else
this is
in the
fine.
entire
Oh, this is fine?
land
Is it?
The
Is there straight up
Spanish-
Spanish?
is
Yeah.
mentioned.
Because it's Earth.
Right?
Really good question, right? Because I'm like,
It is a literal.
Yeah, yeah. So like, does the Uno Spanish carry over from
Right.
years and years and thousands of years because he has one eye, or was he named Uno?
or is it just a funny
Or was it
coincidence?
nickname because
Yeah.
It
Well-
always bothered me just from the
Yeah.
minute, like,
No, because it's so. There's none.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to that same extent.
As someone
It's
who
like
is
literal
yeah,
exact
it's-
word
yeah,
that translates down.
as someone who's
And it's
raised
the
in like
name.
a slight, like a household that spoke Spanish, like like immediately I was like, the one guy's name's Uno.
Really?
I was like, either that's a mean ass nickname, or his parents were unfortunately prescient.
I think that's the other thing is since it is a literal name, Jordan. I think Jordan has said before, like, oh, they're not speaking English. I translated it from their language. It's a name though, so it would sound like Uno. But
if
yeah,
people don't knows about me, I live and grew up in Newport News, Virginia, which doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it's one of the it's pretty ghetto for lack of a better way. Bad News, VA. It's where Allen Iverson comes from, and Michael Vick, and a lot of these famous sports stars you might have heard of. It's a really run down town. But the point I was trying to make is, you think names as far as that goes. I've heard probably some of the most craziest names in school growing up, where you're just like, really, like your parents did that to you? Like it's like it's
We call them millennial bullshit names. That's what we. That's what
what's
we've taken to
impressive.
call
What I
them.
love is
it gets worse. So I'll tell you what. There's 3 brothers I knew growing up, and the first brother, his name was Benjamin. Right?
Sure.
That's
Okay.
a good name. The next kid's name was Cash, which little strange, but
I've heard the name
starting to
Cash
see a little
before.
Cash is an okay name.
Yeah.
The third son's name was Da Money.
cool.
And then you put all 3 together, and you're like, yeah,
Benjamin
that's
Cash
just
Money.
really bad.
I
why
feel
do that
like
to your kids? Like,
I feel like it's one of those things where
It's a sentence.
I
It's
go,
a complete thought.
what I always find kind of interesting or like almost fascinating is the parents that are like, because I almost feel like you should name them as a unit. Like if you're gonna go like wild,
out.
then they commit
Just
across
go.
the
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
But like, don't have like a Roger and Ellen and like a unicorn. Like that just to me feels like.
Well, I was- I
What
was
did
surprised.
what happened with unicorn? Like if you're gonna have a unicorn, have a rainbow and a sunshine too. You know?
Oh,
So,
I knew it.
So my wife's name's Happy, like
Aw.
Happy, like
So cute.
that's actually her legal name. Her parents named her Happy, and people always ask me like, did her parents really give her that name? I'm like, yeah, no, her name's Happy. And I was like, if you
Happy.
think that's really weird, you should hear her brother and sister's name. I'm like, oh, what's that? I was like, her sister's Joanna and her brother's Steven. So
Yeah.
Wait, so I just called it out. I just called it out for you. You were like, yeah, let me tell
I
you.
had I had a family I went to school with. The kids' names were Rain, Star, Sky, and Hail.
God.
See, they go together.
They go
Like,
together.
and
go
I'm not
together.
saying they have to be like
And they are all real
the
names.
like all J names. Like I'm not saying everyone be a
Not that
Duggar.
there's anything as a
But
real
like
name, it's just a word.
I'm saying like let's just have it make a cohesive unit in some way. Like they all have to be the same, but like in the same umbrella of name. I think And that's
Yeah.
just my hot take on naming your
Fun
children.
names.
As someone with no children at all.
Let's push on. We've got Rand, Masima, and Archer Hawkwing.
Okay.
Oh, these were this was
well,
our
the obvious-
zealotry category.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
Rand is a zealot, but people
He
are
inspires
zealous about
zealotry.
him.
The obvious one's Rand. But in Otter Hawkwing, I think he's like was one of the biggest Tavirians. I think he probably was like, I
Doing
picture
it?
Archer Hawkwing as being a well-looking man.
Did the pattern want him to do it? That's the question.
Well, how many people call themselves of the blood of Archer Hawkwing? Because I know it's been 1,000 years,
Is
but
he
it's still
Genghis
like,
Khan? Like, why does he have so many?
there's a
fucking
ton.
kids?
There's a ton of his descendants, and I know they probably are all claiming they were descended just from Luther. Was it Luther who went over there?
I'm curious, like, how much of it was like Archer Hawkwing, like, this is what I wanted, and how much of it was like Archer Hawkwing would come back and be like, whoa, chill. I don't know.
Well, he is there at the end of book 2, right?
Yeah,
When?
as a ghost.
He's
That's,
a hero of the Horn.
Oh,
yeah.
so we might be
As a
able
for-
to see his reaction.
Maybe
as a Force ghost coming back.
it is basically
Oh.
a Force ghost, isn't it?
Spoiler alert for those of you who aren't caught up to me. In which case, like, I don't know. Yeah, but like Guidal Kane just kind of disappeared, and I was like, is he just coming back as like a baby? Like, way to miss the final battle, Guidal Kane. Like, what, we're gonna just throw a baby in there for funsies? Like, the time to bring him back pattern was 20 years ago. What are you doing? Not to criticize like the fates or whatever, but
Maybe
I
he's
think
got
this
other
is
stuff
some
going on.
hot bullshit. I'm like, Brigitte too. I'm like, if you were gonna bring back the heroes and reincarnate their ass, blah, 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 you should have done it 20 years ago.
Well,
What is going on?
Brigitte hasn't even been born yet.
I know.
So she might
What's she
not
gonna
even
be?
be there.
A fetus at the final battle? Is her mom gonna be like as strong as herself and also a fetus?
Isn't that
You know,
a
like Dwight
Twilight
Schrute?
thing?
No, it's like
No?
no, that's different.
That's different.
That's different.
Okay.
But is it like Dwight Schrute, where he was like, I absorbed my twin, so I have the strength of a grown man and a baby?
Would you believe me if I told you I never actually finished The Office?
I know that about you.
I know, but
I thought maybe you
I'm
would
just
get
saying it
that
out loud
reference,
so that
though.
chat will yell at me. And
Yeah,
Alan,
everyone
are you a
yell
fan
at
of
him
The
'cause he's
Office?
wrong.
I'm nodding knowingly about The Office.
Say it again.
I'm nodding knowingly about The Office. Yes.
Very
No, you are nodding, knowing,
That's the way to do it.
notably noting.
Notably knowing.
Yep. Num.
So, yeah, I think Rand's the obvious choice here, but Masima does have that burning zealotry, right? He calls himself the prophet now, as far as we know.
Oh, Masima, bad vibes.
No, Masima seems like I feel like he's like the
I feel like we go into
Charles
a private.
Charles Manson, like crazy cult leader like type guy. That
Yes.
crazy eyes.
I
Has,
feel
the crazy
like-
eyes going. Yeah,
I feel like, you know, even if we were like the coupling would be so uncomfortable because he'd just be screaming at you the entire time about like
About how
God,
great Rand is.
but it'd be Rand, and I'd be like, okay, are you doing Rand or are you doing me? Like,
Get it
uninterested.
straight. Get it straight.
Massima's creepy. That's that's the vibes I get. Also, he's fake. He's so fake because he hated Rand and then found out that Rand was a dragon reborn and all of a sudden he's going to be his prophet. Fake. Bullshit. Fake.
I agree.
Dislike.
I think perhaps there's more to be seen of him. But Rand, we can talk about Rand for a second because as you predicted, that's an obvious runaway, and it was a fairly obvious runaway. Let me see how it shook out. We had 95 votes here. Rand had 77% of the votes.
And
so
some of you voted
Yeah.
for Masima.
more than voted for
More-
Bayar, voted for Masima.
And more than fucking Daisy Cobb. Justice. The injustice.
I don't. Do people just randomly that like? I feel like people like are seeing this poll that don't read Wheel of Time at all and just like, oh, it's something to vote on. I'll
Oh
just
no,
pick it.
no! I'm sure that some of this was like just to fuck with the poll, but still, the thought that someone would be like, you know who's hot?
Masima.
You know what?
Way
Maybe they were
hotter
like,
than
he's on
Rand.
fire with like fervor.
passion. But
I mean, have you seen Yosha? I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
he's a very
And
good-looking
you know
guy.
what? I get it. Now I get Rand.
Well, here's the thing about
I didn't
Rand,
get
too.
Rand before.
So
I don't
far,
know.
where Allie's at, he's very, for lack of a better term, I'd say prudish is probably the right word.
His chastity belt's still on.
Yeah. We have a
Yeah.
running bit on our podcast that all of the Two Rivers boys have chastity belts.
Well, not two of them don't anymore.
Matt's fell off when he
Yes,
got really
because
skinny.
he got really skinny and it's shimmied out of it.
And then they unlocked Perrin's when he got married.
Obviously,
Yeah.
because the Two Rivers women have the key.
But Rand's the
So are you talking about actually physical chest or V cards?
Physical
Physical
chastity
chat,
belts.
like
Okay,
in my
gotcha.
head canon, they have physical chastity
Obviously
belts
not
on.
actually.
And
but
so, like when Barrelane was hitting on Rand, he was,
he was like,
"Listen,
I can't do anything
I
for you.
physically cannot.
I can't do it.
Would
It's
love."
like it's like Robin and Men in tights. Like, I need the key.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, so now that Asmodean's a part of his life, like maybe he'll ask Asmodean to magic it off, and then I'm like, and that's when he'll do it. Like it's happening soon. Like it's like first things first, get this off.
And there must be something going on for Rand if he has how many different women legitimately romantically interested in him?
Three
Three
at
at
least.
Right?
Yeah,
And Elsie
Barrelane
Grinwell.
was like kind of down,
Barrelane
and
was
then
there.
he was weird, and she was like, I'm not
Wait.
into this.
Who are the three that you have?
Min and Elaine in like a weird way.
Sure.
Because I'm like, you made out for 3 days, and then you were like,
Right.
let me send you
Yeah.
hate mail, and then
And you're convinced that Avienda is madly in love with him.
I'm so convinced. I shipped them so
Okay.
hard.
So that's three. Then what about Lanfear? Lanfear's mad.
Oh, and
Lanfear, that's a
Lanfear.
great
Lanfear's
point.
madly in love.
No?
And like Barrelane was kind of into hit that, but then
Yeah.
was like, you were weird.
The locksmith.
Rand can get it. Let's put it that way.
Ranking.
He can. But
I
he
didn't
won't.
get it before
He
'cause
refuses.
I
but he
viewed
could.
him as like
He refuses.
I didn't vote for Rand because like a book Rand I kind of view as like my little brother that I like scold, but also like if anyone fucked with him, I'd like punch them in the face, you know? But I like he's also
Yeah.
like the annoying kid brother. I'm like, just do what mom tells you. Like God.
He's like the homeschool kid that goes to like the public school in high school, but like is really hot, but like is really awkward, doesn't know how to
Yes.
interact, and all the girls are all about him, and he's like, I don't know.
He's
was
like,
homeschooled,
I'm
but I don't
allergic
like stranger
to
danger."
women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Rand.
Yeah. But I like I feel very protective of him, and I'm like, unfortunately for me, that's like not a. I mean,
And no offense to anybody that's homeschooled. 'cause-
yeah, I just don't
Oh,
find
yeah,
like
no.
brother vibes to be very hot, which I think I stand by very much as a person.
So yeah, Rand came out well ahead. Masima came out well behind. And Archer
Thank
Hawkwing
God.
manages to slip into the knockout round with, I think,
Yeah, I voted for Archer Hawkwing because
he actually didn't do that bad. He got 18% of the votes.
I was kind of like, I don't know.
I think I voted for Alter Hawkwing as well, just
Yeah.
because I figured everybody was going to vote Rand, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go against the grind.
See
Yeah.
what
And
happens.
that's what.
Maybe
So
different.
when I vote, I often look at what's everybody else going to do, and then who's an okay person that might be someone that no one's giving love. to.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
especially since I knew that there was a loser bracket, I was like, I do not want Masima
Well, see, now that
to
now
get
that I
second.
know that, even more, I'm going to do that.
Right,
I didn't
exactly.
know there's a loser bracket.
There's a strategy.
You gotta be careful,
involved.
though. You gotta be careful because Allie voted for Aludra, expecting Matt to
Okay, but
win.
I stand by that also because Matt,
And
I also
Aludra knocked
view
Matt out.
as a brother. Like I'm like,
What?
stop.
Matt?
Slash
Wait, Matt?
Matt's
Matt
in knockout
lost.
bracket. Matt's in the knockout round.
to Aludra. It was the
Matt
shock
lost?
of the
Matt
entire
lost to Aludra.
cup so
Wow.
far.
That's the
I
big
know.
upset. I was saying I wanted a big
Wow.
upset, and then it started happening, and I started
And you were like,
screaming,
"Not like this, though."
Not like this.
Wow.
I didn't
Well,
like
I know
this.
she's watching. I'm sorry, MK. I am so sorry. MK's in chat
And
right
it was
now.
so funny because we
Um,
thought that was such a gimme round for Matt. And like
Yeah.
we specifically were like, let's have Matt win so Danny will be happy when she comes on. And then when I was
Matt
watching
lost.
this I was watching this go down and I was like, oh no. Guys, we're like sitting there watching this happen on the couch with my dad. My dad kept thinking something was really wrong. And
Yeah.
because he was like, can I watch the movie, please? And you two stop gabbing about the Grinwell Cup, which I don't understand because he does not understand this podcast, like, period. But yeah. Yeah. So those are my feelings. Oh, and I stand by my Aludra vote because I view Matt as like a little brother / myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel comfortable voting for me because that felt egotistical. And now I know that I'm not as hot as Aludra. So thank you, everyone, for that.
Shall we continue on, or do you have anything else you want to share about these folks, Alan?
No, I'm thinking good.
Good.
All right.
All right. So next up, we had
Carry on.
the good Two Rivers Woolens bracket,
I was really proud of that.
which
bracket
is Egwene Elvir,
title.
Meryn Elvir,
Yes.
and Alsbeth Luhan.
Mm.
Now, where would you expect
I
this to
thought
go?
this was actually a
is-
difficult
I mean,
decision.
So Egwene's gonna blow this away.
Yeah.
You would think.
You would think that there's so many Egwene lovers out there, and maybe I mean, so we can't go into spoilers, but I do love Egwene.
yeah.
You're allowed to. love
Ellie
Egwene.
knows that a lot of people love Egwene, a lot of people don't.
I've heard that
Yeah.
she and Fail are divisive. Like that's people like them or don't.
Yes.
Yeah. And Elaine, right? You kind of said.
Well, Alsbeth
implied that.
Luhan, well, she works in a forge. I mean,
She
Mostly
killed a
'cause
Trolloc
I
with
saw-
a frying
Yeah,
pan.
mostly because I saw some comments where people were like, "Oh, I hate this." For
forging
that. I was like, what's
furiously.
going on?
I mean, she's
Forging furiously. She is.
So
Or at least her husband is, and she helps.
I like to think she seems like a helper. She's really strong, so she's
Yeah.
got to
Well,
be.
I think they say in, is it book 1 or book 4, where they go, Alsbeth Luhan, the only person who is stronger than her pretty much is Harrell, and she gives Harrell a run for his money.
I love a good strong woman.
Yeah. She
Like,
kills a Trolloc with a frying.
physically.
We're going through book 1 again right now. She kills a Trolloc with a frying pan on Winter Night, and rather than like, oh my god, I have to go home and secure, she starts hunting around the bushes
See-
with the frying pan.
yeah, so I always pictured her as like the boxy type woman that, like, but she
But I
could be like a
did-
Xena Princess Warrior too. So it's hard to tell.
Listen, as a pansexual, I'm into buff ladies.
Absolutely.
I'm into it. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
I like a good, big armed, like not unapologetically large lady.
Who did you vote for?
Now
Ellie?
Marin has honey cakes.
She does.
So that gives
She can feed you.
Well, honey cakes. I mean,
Oh,
Perhaps. Also true.
I did not pick that up.
She's got honey cakes, and she's got honey cakes.
Yeah.
she got honey cakes.
I
So-
also just like have a small crush on Marin Alvier.
Do you?
I do.
Why?
The way that she handled the IO was like diplomacy hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the finesse. I was like, what else can you finesse? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Also, her daughters are all pretty, so she's probably a dime. Just too old for Rand to think so.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, we love an aged hottie with wisdom coming out the wazoo, who can like finesse her way through social situations. Like I find people who are socially adept to be really hot. And it's a personality thing for me. For me, Egwene feels very little sister to me. I can't get on board. Very on board with Marin Alvier, which is who I voted for.
Mm. And did you vote for Egwene, or would you have voted for Egwene?
I probably would have. I think I voted for Alsbeth Luhan just because I was like, yeah.
She's a legend.
I think I did. Like I said, I didn't vote with like actually what I felt. I vote with like just what I thought would be more trollish.
That's fine. That's there's nothing wrong with it. That's good. This is not meant to be a deliberate, active.
And then it's which Twitter profile I voted with depends on how I voted.
Right. You have to vote accordingly to how
Yeah.
that profile would say.
Can I also
that's the
same
argue
character.
that watching Elsbeth beat the shit out of Trollocs would be like weirdly
That'd
erotic?
be something. That'd be quite
like
something.
in a catharsis
There's
sense.
a lot of blood flowing. That's something.
Like
else.
I just
As
feel like
Paris Hilton would say, that's hot.
I implied that it wasn't a blowout for Egwene. It was pretty much. a blowout. I mean,
Um,
she got more than half the votes.
which we get. She's
But
cute.
I will say,
She's got some
60%
years advantage too.
of the
which, you know.
votes to Egwene. But Alsbeth and Marin, they went back and forth pretty much the entire day this was.
I
Mhm.
couldn't believe it.
And-
They just did this all day. It was very exciting to watch.
It was
for
real,
me.
yeah. Sometimes I actually have more fun watching for the second placer than I do seeing who wins.
These rounds for sure.
Absolutely, because
That tends to be where the interesting stuff is happening because we're like, yeah, Egwene's gonna win.
Egwene's
this,
gonna
but
win. We know
Marin
Egwene's
and
gonna win.
Elspeth,
who
like,
who has a shot still? Who's losing their shot? You know, and Marin actually at the last, I think it was the last 45 minutes, Marin just pulled
in
ahead.
my head, Elspeth Luhan kind of looks like, in terms of build, like the woman who plays Bobby Draper in The Expanse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is a great show.
And I have a fat crush on her. So
You ever watched? Are you a sci-fi guy as well as a fantasy guy, Alan?
I am actually right now. So in my reading, So obviously I'm reading the Wheel of Time for my podcast. I just got done with Mistborn 1, the first trilogy. And then I decided to take a break because one of my co-hosts, Ian, is a very, very big Hyperion Cantos fan. So I am now reading for the first time. I just got finished with book 1, Hyperion. Just started Hyperion Falls too. So working through the Hyperion Cantos, which is sci-fi, of course.
Oh yes. Dan Simmons.
Sci-fi.
I've read those.
Yeah, Dan Simmons. Yeah, so working through the Hyperion Cantos right now. So yes, I do read sci-fi. I read a lot of different things. Before I started doing a fantasy podcast, I'm not really super well read in the fantasy world. Actually, I read the big staples, but you get to like obscure series. I'm like, I never read it. But yeah, a lot of historical fiction, a lot of different things. I like to read. So
It's a good pastime.
Yeah.
Right?
Same as
Yeah.
I feel like most people in chat would agree with you.
But yeah, so
Reading is fun.
to answer your question, yes, I read sci-fi. But not exclusive. I'm not exclusively a sci-fi fantasy reader.
Sure.
I read
But
everything.
yeah, I know some people are more one or the other, or just go like, well, yeah, if there's space travel in it, I don't care.
I prefer fantasy over sci-fi,
Yeah.
but if it's a good sci-fi, I like it. So
Yeah.
let's put that
Well,
way. Like,
if you
if
haven't-
it gets weird sci-fi, I'm like, yeah, just too much.
I get that. Yeah, there are some sci-fi that I'm not a huge fan of, but if you haven't read or watched The Expanse, it's definitely worth your time.
I've watched season 1. I have not read them yet, but I've heard good things about the books.
I'm going to reinforce every good thing you've heard about the books as we continue forward to
Sorry, I can't be podcasting about hot people without a pop of color. Hold on.
you putting what is that, lip gloss?
Mhm.
I know the word.
'Cause my lip
I
gloss
did
is
it. I know the
popping.
word.
Nice work.
Thank you. So Elspeth goes into the knockout round, and she will just lay into the folks around her with a frying pan.
And it will
right
be
there. Yep.
so hot.
And
Just imagine.
Egwene moves on. I will say Egwene's next bracket is going to be
A toughie.
hard.
We'll
for her.
we'll reveal what the next brackets are going to be at the end.
Again, losers bracket, knockout round. I'm going to play with a little bit, just because some of them are really evil, and I think that's fair. It's a reseeding, but
How many characters are you doing?
81.
Okay.
So next week is our last round of prelims,
I guess
and then we're
'cause
going to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I guess we're
so-
Elias. You can't do all like 3,000. So
Yeah.
Well, that's why we figured that the Grinwell Cup could be an annual event, because every year there's just going to be more and more characters to talk about.
yeah, true.
So next up we have, I forget what you called this one, Allie.
The I don't fuck with you.
I don't fuck with you category. This is Thuroth, Elida, and Rena.
I don't fuck with any of those
Who
people.
was the last one? Sorry,
Rena, who was
Rena.
she was Egwene's Suldam.
And I think they're hot in terms of like who I would like to launch into the sun.
Launched directly into the sun with a catapult, which is that is a legitimate way to vote.
Yeah, we said that hotness is subjective,
And we really
Yeah.
and we meant it,
subjective.
so we were like, we have to really include everybody. My rules were no animals, so Bella was out. So we're Stepper, and what's the other
Bella
one?
would just win. We can't put Bella
Yeah,
in,
Bella would
guys.
just win.
That's not fair. She just wins.
My-
Bella would win everything.
Bella would win.
She would
And
just trample right over everything.
My other rule was, for the most part, we stuck with this, was no dead people. So if they were dead, they were out. But we had to put Ingtar in because we had to, and we
Okay.
then we were like, fuck
So
it.
no Agenor.
We have Agenor and Balthamel. They're
were
on
in.
here, and Balzzaman. Those 4 broke the no dead people rule.
Okay.
But
And I
you
think
know,
there may or may not be others for people who.
we had to have something that
then you get
eliminated people,
spoiled.
because
No
otherwise
Green
this would
Man?
be like
No
10.
Green Man?
I know we didn't put Sameshta in here. He did his job for 3,000 years, unquestioning. Didn't really know who he was or why he was there, but he sure did it.
He did. You
Has
know
a
what?
heartbreaking scene in book 4.
I guess you're past Shadow Rising, right? So, but he's he's a construct. So does that really count as a person?
That's a good question.
I
It's like-
mean-
it's like does a android count? I don't know.
Well, Data. I mean,
Data from
if
Star
we're talking
Trek.
about Star Trek: The Next Generation,
Okay.
I like Data.
Okay.
He's a cool
good
dude.
point.
It's a cool
Point
dude.
conceded.
Brett
Point
Spiner
conceded.
could
Okay.
get it.
Do the Borg count because they're half and half?
Yeah.
Ooh, I
of
don't- I wouldn't fuck with the Borg.
Of those
No.
3,
Okay.
they're all horrible.
I wouldn't do a B. I wouldn't do a Borg.
They're all horrible.
Elida, I just feel like she has RBF, like super RBF.
Yep.
Super
And I just
RBF.
can't get past that. I can't call it hot just because, like, I mean, not that there are cute women that have RBF. I mean, like,
Oh yeah,
Oh, hey,
what's
to
her name?
each
What's
their
the
own,
actress?
right?
Actress?
it can be a feature.
Anna Kendrick. Is
She has RBF
No, her name's not her.
It might be a different.
because I'm
person.
like, oh,
I'm trying to think of what the actress
Anna
is.
Kendrick's like whole shtick is that she's adorable.
Yeah, she's adorable. That's what I said. But she's
Yeah.
hot. But there is some actress out there. It's not her that has like super RBF, and it's like, but she's cute, but has RBF, and it kind of just.
I think for me, the thing about Elida is, you can't control RBF, right? That's you have it or you don't.
You
But
can't,
she backs it
yeah.
up with being cruel in her mind
Being-
to everybody around her.
She's mean.
She's mean, which people
Which
are into
can
that.
be hot.
People can be into that.
Yeah, I think
just
Seraph. I mean, I hate to vote for Sanchin, just
Yeah.
because there's.
I couldn't. Yeah, I
But
couldn't
I
vote for
think- I
Sean
think-
Chan.
I know, and for what they do, yeah. But as far as just like,
But in this
Yeah, I mean,
category,
like,
with these choices, it's
with
too Sean
these
Shan.
choices, yeah, two Shan. I mean, I'm not gonna vote for Elida, just because I don't think she would. I don't know. I mean,
Listen.
it just seems like Seraph.
I feel like Elida would like criticize you the whole time, and if
Yeah.
that's something you would be into,
That's great.
it would probably make me cry.
not.
But
If
I
that's your
voted for
kink-
her anyway.
If that's your kink, I'm not shaming you for it. But,
you have
no,
fun.
that's-
Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't.
with
have
your
fun
partner,
doing it.
have fun.
I couldn't get down with a slaver, so I was like, nah, they're both out for me. But like, I mean, there's no good choice, so it's not like I'm gonna judge anybody for their choice here,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, we purposely made this the no good choices category.
There's another no good choices
So that it would be
category later.
interesting.
There's a much more entertaining no good choices category later.
Yeah, because
next
these
week-
women like really go for the evil.
Well, evil. You're
I assume. I just feel like they're like the worst of the worst.
okay.
I don't like Rena's baby voice too. I like ugh.
That is
Ugh.
But if you were
Ew,
If you-
speak like a damn adult.
so
Rhoda, grossy
you are
weirdo.
right, Alan. Surath took this one pretty handily.
Okay.
I would say it's 47%, 83 votes on this
I
one. I
was
think people looked at it and went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were not. People were
Was
mad
it
at us.
was it like 5 votes? I mean, did you
83.
actually vote? Okay.
83, which
No.
is fewer than
I'm
we
not
had
voting.
for
I'm not
some.
voting.
But there were a couple brackets where people were like, "Why?" And
You're
you're
just
like,
like, give
"Why
me an
not?"
other option.
Because you
Give
know
me an
what?
other.
I'm nourished by
I
your
would like
hatred.
an other, please.
Um,
Other. Hi from Germany. Hi, Germany.
Hi, Germany.
We had 47% Surath. We had
Welcome.
Willkommen. We had a pretty big gap actually between second and third.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Oh.
I don't.
Oh,
I wish
hell
I
no.
did. I speak French.
I got 2 languages and that's
Ein
enough.
bisschen. Ein bisschen.
I would like this. I wish I had spent more time when I was younger learning languages. I speak French. I speak English. That's about it right now.
I know. If there
So
are any
both-
young people out there
So
right
I
now,
never-
God, I hope
I
not.
never-
But
I
learn
never
languages.
formally learned how to speak German, but both my parents knew how to speak fluent German. So my grandparents, my father's side, were German, and they spoke fluent German. So my dad can speak fluent German. My mother grew up in the military at stationed in Germany, so she speaks fluent German. So my extent of German was when we were in trouble, they would speak German to each other, like my parents
Oh.
would.
oh, like a code.
So, as a code. So I picked up enough to like understand it, but I never fully learned German. So like I can speak it very brokenly and very horribly. And I can't write it. I can't read it. I can just recognize someone speaking German. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I kind of know what you're talking
Which
about.
is a good
So
skill.
my parents used to do that.
Yeah, I have a friend who's Mexican whose parents used to like talk about her in Spanish and they never taught her Spanish. It's the same thing. She's like,
Same thing. Yeah, I can. If
I
someone's
can't
speaking
speak
German
it.
around me, I can understand the flow of conversation and figure out what they're talking about. And a lot of times, as an American, it comes in handy. I've been traveling before where two like an Austrian and a German were talking to each other, and I'm just sitting there out of the corner, like, "Do you know what we're talking about?" Like, "Yeah, you're talking about the weather." And they're like, "Wait, you can speak German?" I was like, "Not really, but."
yeah, so.
Chad is shocked that Elida did not win this one.
I was too.
Jenny cannot believe it, and
I was
you know what,
too.
can a lot
I
of
thought
other
she
people.
had this.
But Elida did come in second, so she's got a shot. She could still take it all. I don't think she will, but she could. She had
She will not.
37% of the vote,
She will not take
and
it.
somehow
Firmly no.
like
We will
12
rig
people,
the poll. No, just kidding. the sock puppets I will make.
16% of the votes actually went to Rena. So this
Okay.
was kind of closer,
Wow.
but I think that's a function of everyone going, I'm going to throw a dart at my computer screen because I don't want to see anything anymore.
I get it. We did this to you, and it was funny, but it was mean.
All right.
Yeah.
This next one is, I thought it would be funnier than it was, and it was a blowout. Lanfear versus Liandrin versus Chesmal Emery.
Our Lanfear won.
Lanfear did not even,
Yeah.
like, I can't see the bars.
I mean,
for the other
Liandrin
ones.
has a little small honey braids and
Yeah.
and seems cute, but also RBF like crazy. And then what was
Yeah.
the last one you said?
Chesmal Emery.
Oh, well, name some Yellow Sister and just
Yeah.
throw it in there.
She's because of the.
It's
the
not gonna be
meme.
fucking Chesmal Emery, I'll tell you that much.
Mostly-
just because Rafe said her name
Literally
one
just
time.
because Rafe said her name.
I
one
was
time.
cracking up because I was like, even I know that Chesmal Emery is a Black Aja. Like, even I, who know nothing, thought it was funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Liandrin, I think, is kind of a cutie, but I mean, we were kind of like, listen, Lanfear's
We
going to
know
beat whoever
Lanfear's
we
gonna
put her up
win.
against.
We know it's
probably,
gonna happen.
unless we put her up against like
Lanfear
Low
in chat
gain
is
and-
spamming dance emojis.
yeah. We're gonna like she would probably win against anybody unless we put her up against like Logain and Galad, and I'm like, we're not doing that the first
Oh, yeah.
round. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's what the finals are gonna be, probably.
Yeah.
But
Could be.
I mean, and Lanfear hasn't been cast yet. Landrin has.
Yes. Oh, that she's a fascinating actress.
Yeah.
Really fun to
Fleetwood.
follow on social
those
media.
cheekbones,
Oh my
this
God.
Yeah, she's
cast
hot.
is
Yeah.
so
So
hot.
beautiful.
Like
Yeah.
let me just say,
Well, Lanfear might have been cast. Let me take that back. She might
We
have been
don't
cast.
know.
We just
Right.
don't know
We
yet.
don't know.
But I
Chesmal
covet her.
Embry, I would be surprised if she's been cast.
I covet Leandrin's cheek, the actress's cheekbones. So I'm like,
Kate Fleetwood.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
what kind of contouring do I need to do to make that happen for me? Because I've got these
Yeah.
big old Irish cheeks and they're not going away.
I think she has such a fantasy TV look too. I'm excited to see what they do with that character because they announced her so soon. I know this isn't a show discussion, but
Am I
you know
pretty
it's gonna
up?
happen. You're gorgeous. You're gorgeous
Just
with the fish face.
when I contour,
Oh,
it makes me
also-
look like I just have dirt on my face because there's nothing there. It's sad.
Also, Vance, good point. Everyone needs to hit the like button.
Yeah.
I see 13 likes and 23 people looking, so I am definitely judging J looks right now to the 10 of you that have not hit like.
It
This
only
is me
takes a second. It's right over. It's over there.
Come
No,
on.
so it's here. I think it's like here.
Yeah. Hit the
I might
like
be pointing
button.
at dislike. If I
We're
am,
gonna pause. We're gonna pause the.
we're just gonna
the show.
wait and extort
We're
you
gonna
for
wait.
likes.
No.
So Chesmal
We're gonna
Emery.
judge you and
We
judge
put
you
them
worse.
through enough with the polls this week.
Yeah, they had to deal with
Do
Chesmal
they?
Emery. They're
Yeah.
disliking for Liandrin and Chesmal Emery.
I get why, like, yeah. They're
yeah,
like,
th-
I'm not liking it because of what you put us through this week.
It was a
Yeah.
blowout.
Goodbye.
So
Okay.
what I'll say really is we know Lanfear was gonna win. Dude, I don't know. We nothing to discuss about. It's Lanfear.
Yeah.
Robert Jordan, according to every single character we've had a perspective from who is in the same room as her, she's the most attractive woman in the world. Flat. She was actually part of the reason we made this poll. Her and Galad being constantly described as
Wait,
the
it wasn't
apex.
Elsie.
Elsie was the inspiration behind it. You know? Elsie
Sure.
was the Elsie was the core personality here. But she's our number one seed. She's not.
Sure.
She should have been. I think actually Lanfear was our number one seed.
Who put her against Galad in the first round? Guts.
I did. She didn't win. But
The disrespect on my Elizabeth Grinwell.
Nah, disrespect.
yeah. But yeah, it's Lanfear. She's
Danella's my reverse Elsie. I think I talked about this recently.
who is Danelle?
Because Elsie I met and immediately loved her. And she's like some random. And Danelle is some like random, probably Black Aja, I'm assuming, because she sucks, who like smirked at Swan in Swan's office when Swan was getting like stilled and stuff. And I was like, instant dislike.
As a
I
reminder,
hate everything about you.
Please don't post any spoilers in chat.
So does that mean she's Black Aja?
No, it just
I'm
means
looking
that
for
you're
signs.
theorizing, and I don't
I'm
want people
putting
to tell
on
you
my
one way or the other, or
clues.
go like, "Who the hell is Danelle?"
Detective Shields
Uh,
solving the case.
So, my question for you is, who do you think came in second?
Not Chesmal. It would have been Liandrin.
It is barely though. It's Liandrin by
Yeah.
I think I think it's one vote actually separated them.
Okay.
I think some people
Yeah.
couldn't resist the bit, and I get it.
Yeah, Chesmal got 6%. Leandra got 6.5.
Have you had to do tiebreakers yet?
No, we haven't had it. We were so close.
We
This
were
was
really
this was a
scary.
So what
close.
are you gonna do for tiebreakers?
either we do a head to head.
Flip a coin.
Oh, okay.
Because
I don't-
you know we could do a head because then anyone who voted for the third place would be able to.
Oh
Resync
yeah,
their vote.
that makes sense.
So as you know, I run polls too on Twitter. Lots of polls, but right now on Will Reads, we're doing the March Madness
The weapon
weapons-
bracket, right?
the weapon bracket. And people always ask me like, well, how that person, if it was a tie, like, and I'm like, well, I get a vote then if it's a tie. It's like I'm the vice
Oh,
president.
Yeah.
So I get if it's a tie, I pick it.
You break the
that's
vote.
only time I will pick the winner.
That's-
is what I prefer. Otherwise, I don't get a vote.
That's
Because when you
smart
vote,
and makes sense.
you
That
don't
makes
get to
sense.
vote.
I feel
If
like
you guys ever run a Twitter poll, you don't actually get to vote in your own poll.
Yep.
Yeah.
yep,
It's
drives me
true.
crazy.
So only time that I can actually vote is if you guys tie, and then I get the winning vote.
You break it.
Huh.
I think we might do that because it's easy, but I'm gonna say that we're gonna keep our tiebreaker secret.
I mean,
Survivor
hell, I
style.
definitely vote. I was gonna not vote, and then I
Ellie
was like,
does.
but then I can't see
Absolutely
the
does.
results, and then I bug Gus all
Yeah.
day.
Are you do by seed? Like, what's the higher seed? I don't know. There's
That's
lots of different ways. I can run a runoff poll. It just all depends. Yeah.
We got options. When that happens, I will let you know if that happens because it totally might. We came very close several times this week. Yeah, Leandrin pulled ahead. Chesma Emery, no one remembers her except because Rafe said her name once. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. Leandrin
Bye,
goes into the
Chesma.
knockout round. And now I can tell you one of the non-final rounds here is going to be Lanfear, Surath, and Egwene.
That's
And
a tough one for Egwene.
That's why I say I don't think Egwene
Oh,
is going to have a
Surath
great
is
time.
out.
Surath's
Surath's
gone immediately.
totally gone.
Yeah,
It might be an
but-
interesting. You know, if people are really drawn to personality, though, and there's some real Egwene stands out there, maybe. But I
I
mean,
can see it being the battle of the
frequently
decade.
Rand goes, Lanfear makes Egwene look like shit. Like, I don't know.
You should get Maddie Madden and come on.
Yeah. We'll
push
get
that
Madeline
forward.
to guest.
Well, I know. I'm
Wow.
like, she is a beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm.
This whole cat.
Allie
I had a lot of feelings about Madeline Madden.
and demolished our
Yeah,
earphone
those are-
setup.
I'm so sorry.
We lost our headphone splitter and the new one hasn't come yet, so we're doing
Yeah.
this.
But I think,
Okay.
you know, it could be an interesting, like, if we're going with personality and there's some real Egwene stands out there, it stands to be a pretty interesting bracket.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think it's gonna be contentious.
Mhm.
Is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Shall we push forward?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Push it real good.
Real
Yeah.
good. This was the one that we constructed specifically for you guys and for Ian actually. Is
Oh.
Perrin versus
Next time.
Balzzaman versus Ingtar.
All right. Hold on. Let's see if Ian answers. I'm gonna text him real fast.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perrin.
I want to know.
Perrin, Ballsy, or
Or
Ingtar.
Because Ballsy's described as, like, hot-ish. Hot. I mean, listen, the rat back thing would be, like, a big no for me. But, you know, some people might be into that.
The rat pack thing.
I don't know.
If he answers in the next like 3 seconds, then we'll be good. But like I said, he's playing Army, so.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
I
well-
think Perrin would have won that. Or Ingtar. Ballsy probably wouldn't, even though his eyes are on fire.
That's the thing. It's
His
the most
eyes are on
literal,
fire.
the most literal kind of hotness.
We just thought, we thought
pretends
that,
to be Satan,
Perrin would win, but Ingtar would put up a bit of a fight.
and that's
And that's what happened.
Not
Ian
really even
answered
what
really,
happened.
really quickly. Ian
Yeah.
said Perrin.
Perrin. Yeah,
Perrin.
Yeah.
Perrin had 64% of the vote. It's 108 votes, and he ran with it.
Yeah.
He's got shoulders and axe handle wide, which took you a while to figure out what that. Which is a weird way to describe it, because if you hold an axe like this, as we know from discussing chopping wood, that's this big.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, the stuff. And then I forgot that they turned another
So
way.
here's. Wait. Wait.
Oh,
Uh,
no.
No, it's like my screen thing's.
Yeah.
it
He
says-
said Perrin.
It says Perrin all day long.
Yeah.
That's what Ian said.
And
I
it
have a
probably
big
would
crush on Perrin, and I want to apologize for that. I don't know why the other two, I'm like, you're like brothers, and then Perrin, I'm like, hello.
It's because you tracked the Perrin Fail thing and enjoyed the tension.
I did.
So
I always
are-
love the tension.
Are we talking? I mean, also, are we talking about Ballsy, like how he appears in the dreams, or like, or
What
the
he once
actual-
looked like.
what he
What-
once
yeah,
looked like?
in the
Like before
prologue.
his
I'm
face
sure he
started
was a
falling apart.
pretty good looking guy.
I remember
Well,
him
he's
being
Billy Zane, isn't
described
he?
as hot once.
He was Billy Zane.
It's Billy Zane
Yeah,
in one
it
case
is Billy
with a
Zane.
salt and pepper beard.
Yeah.
He was a renowned philosopher, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah. This unfortunately the joke of Balzzaman has fire in his eyes did not it did not
It did not help him.
catch fire.
Did not. Nice.
Perrin ran well ahead of everybody else, 64, but it was actually close on the second place vote.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ingtar, Ian will be happy. Ingtar won that. So,
What?
Actually, I was looking
Oh,
at my text to
second
Ian,
place.
and actually, I had texted him that poll. So yeah, I actually early this week texted him that poll.
So he may have gotten his chance to vote for Perrin.
That's
No,
the
he's
hope.
on Twitter.
Oh.
He doesn't know how to use Twitter. Don't ask.
That's it. You didn't proxy?
Will not.
We have chat saying they were super into Perrin as a kid. I would have been too.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
hot. He's hot. Sorry. Blacksmiths are hot. Pirates of the Caribbean made them hot.
Marcus is
Period.
gorgeous.
But
Period.
But who they've if the casting's true, who they've casted Ingtar.
Oh yeah.
Who did they cast as Ingtar?
Oh yeah. Have I not shown you
No.
this?
Is he
I
cute?
forget his name. He is.
This whole cast is like
he is beautiful.
smoke show.
Do you remember his name? I've seen the picture, but I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. I
Yeah.
can look it up.
Someone in chat might
Um,
know, but we'll find out.
The actor
There
who plays
is
Perrin is hot as hell.
rumored casting of Ingtar. We know that because
Uh-huh.
he's in pictures with the rumored guy who's playing.
It's
Una.
it's Amir Chadha Patel.
Yeah. You would recognize him if you saw him.
Okay.
I would pull it up. Actually, I can pull it up.
Mhm.
Unfortunately for everyone
That's what
else,
computers are
There you
good
go.
for.
he's a very
Oh.
handsome fella. I will
Oh, hi.
drop a picture of this gentleman.
How are you?
the
doing?
rumored
I
casting.
will
Today.
link into the chat. The rumored Ingtar.
Oh,
Yeah.
pardon me.
He has
Um,
quite the facial hair. Oh,
Yeah.
and there's Guy Roberts. Fascinating. All right. So that's important to consider. But-
and yeah, so the TV show's gonna change everyone's perspective on everybody.
Mhm.
Um,
That I think is why he came in second. We have no idea. But Billy Zane, good luck.
I mean, I also think that there is something to his story that is inherently kind of attractive. Like this guy who's torn between
Yeah.
like doing wrong and doing right. It's very like not to mention J.K. Rowling again, but it's very Draco Malfoy. Like Draco Malfoy has
Right.
his stands.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ooh, but I could help him find the goodness, but he's like a little bad, you know. I mean,
Sure. I'll take it.
hello.
But
It's
yeah, no,
attractive.
not a lot to talk about there. Do you want to push ahead? We have two left.
He's a
and then we can
soldier.
chat
I
about
mean,
We're-
hi.
okay,
the upcoming.
let's go.
He's got sword.
This is our
Hello.
you love to hate them bracket.
Oh no.
Padden Fane,
Oh,
Agenor, and Balthamel.
Oh, you said it too fast. Padden Fane.
Agenor and Balthamel
Agenor.
as a unit.
No.
As you
and-
okay, so it's one vote. Okay.
Because they come in together.
Oh,
They
sure, yeah.
they go out together. And Dane Bornhold. This is the one where we got a lot of can I not vote? Can I-
Can we not do this today?
Can I
And was
delete
like,
my
I
I
get
mean,
it.
of those, I mean, Dane's obviously gonna win, even
Mhm.
though it's Dane. Just because one has a leather face. It's like
I mean,
It is
some
literal
people
silence.
again,
it's like Silence of
maybe
the
into-
Lambs.
Yeah.
Grinning mask with child's face.
yeah,
the hell no,
um,
though. Yeah, that's a big hell no for me.
Yeah, I just picture. I think it's Balthamel that has the mask on. I
Mhm.
figure like
And
I just
Agenor
feel-
is just rotting.
And Magnor's rotting away. So I figure like one guy looks like literally like Wild Bill from Sons of the Lambs, and the other guy looks like Tales from the Crypt. And
Yeah, you know how like you hurt yourself? Like this poll hurt me personally, and I
Yeah.
did it.
It hurt me to post.
And
Yeah.
Padden Fane looks like Padden Fane, and then you have Dane, which is a horrible person, but looks like a normal human being. So you have horrible. He's a horrible person, but he actually looks okay. Like,
Deeply
Like he's,
traumatized.
yeah, deeply
Yeah.
traumatized. Also, I'm realizing that a commonality between all these people is I in my head I'm like, no way any of these people smell good.
That's a great point.
No way. And I'm big about smell.
Yeah.
So this is hard.
The
I mean,
white cloaks are clean. The white cloaks are clean.
but he's
That's
like a
true.
big time drinker now, though.
He does smell
And
like
like
vodka.
but
people
but
who
where
drink
you
a
are
lot
there,
don't
yeah.
smell good.
So I
It's
guess
like
it's-
comes
I
out of your
guess-
pores.
So I guess it's where you. What are you trying to say? I'm drinking.
No. Not people who drink a fun amount. People who drink a not fun amount. Which is
I don't know the
to
difference.
excess.
But so
To forget. When they drink to forget, then it's like, ooh,
sure.
honey.
So yeah. I mean, well, early Dane's not a heavy drinker. It's after Dane's after Jeffrey dies that Dane.
Right.
takes
Yeah,
the
he kind of goes off the. Well, he's
So you talk about Dane, like either world Dane. He's just a young lad that's scared crap of Marine growing to 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
If you're talking about
Well, he
Shadow
does.
Rising Dane, yeah, he's a drunkard.
doesn't he harass? He harasses Rand in Bearlawn, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then Rain
Yeah.
grows really big, and
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, Dane sucks.
But he is
like,
by and large at that point just a cocky young gentleman.
Yeah. I mean, he's always sucked, but he sucks
Little bit
more
of a
when his dad dies.
Giselle. from
Dane, daddy
First Law
issues,
type.
Bornhold. Which, I mean, Rand can relate.
Rand can absolutely relate.
Yeah,
I think it's important to remember Agenor and Balthamel both died in a way that involved fire, right? Balthamel lit Semeshta on fire, and then he got stomped to death by a flaming tree, and Agenor
That was funny.
exploded
Yeah.
fierily
Fierily?
in a fiery fashion. I don't know what the right form of that word there is.
You know,
spontaneous combustion. I don't know.
Yeah, magical spontaneous combustion.
my viewpoint on this one was Agenor and Balthamel are like actively rapey.
Yeah.
Padden, listen, I'm not poking like light at that.
No, it's
But
well.
and Padden Fane gives me a lot of those vibes. So I was like, you know, and like Dane Bornhold, like he's probably not ugly. He's just annoying.
He
and,
just
like,
has some
sucks
stuff he
as
has
a
to work
person.
through. You know, he has some. He seems to have a lot of actual inner guilt.
He just gives me a lot of like mad at the world frat guy vibes.
Yeah.
But he
His dad
is
did
friends with
just
rapey
die.
Ferran, which we cannot.
His
stand.
friends, what? His dad, what?
What?
His dad did just die.
His dad did die. You know, I think that's true.
true.
And his only friend was like-
let's look at it from Dane's perspective. I mean, so let's look at the information Dane's given. I mean, I'm not trying to defend
He's got a
Dane,
bad-
Dane's an
he's
asshole.
had a
No, I
bad
think this
day.
is true. I think this is true.
He's had a bad
so
couple days.
look, like put your feet in his shoes. Like all you've been told now is that your dad was killed in this battle, and you have misinformation about the battle,
Right.
ton of it, but you're just definitely super mourning and super just lashing out.
Yeah.
drinking,
What else
and-
can you? Yeah.
Yeah.
He is working with the information he has
Mm-hmm.
from the people he trusts,
Mm-hmm.
and there you go.
My only thing is
With that being said, I hate Dane. But go
oh,
ahead.
yeah.
hate Dane sucks. Just on the scale of these like three options, he's like the least offensive. But here's what I'm gonna say. I don't understand what the point of the White Cloaks is, like from their perspective, because I'm like, the one time you were actually like called upon to fight dark friends and like the dark, you whiffed. You didn't do it. You just sat there and watched a bunch of, and you were gonna like just sit there and watch a bunch of women and children get slaughtered. And I was like, then what the fuck good are you? You don't even do your fucking job.
Yeah.
What the fuck good are you? All you do is like hang kids. Fuck you.
Dane Bornhall did move on.
Look,
this
Dane
one,
didn't
though.
hang any kids, but
He was there. He was
He was
there.
there?
He was there when Perrin's family. He knew about.
oh
Perrin's
yeah.
family.
Oh, then fuck Dane. Okay, continuing.
Whether or not he was there physically, he knew. and
he
covered
knew
it up.
about it, and he was like, "Oh well,
He moves on though.
can't do anything about that."
Agenor and Balthamel's decaying corpses slouch across the finish line into the knockout round, and
I
Padden
get
Fane's
it.
gone.
Padden Fane's too
It's-
much.
Yeah, Padden
Yeah.
Fane's gone.
Yeah,
Let's
that guy I think smells the worst, and one of them is rotting.
push.
So.
Let's push forward. This is a heartbreaker. This is Galad,
Yes,
Bale Domon,
yeah.
and Elsie motherfucking Grinwell.
I'll never forgive you.
You brought me on for the LC one.
yeah.
Well, I got to go with Bale.
Bale,
And,
there you go. I love
Yeah.
the
Oh,
man.
so I'm a sailor. I mean, so
Yeah.
I
It's true.
votes is my thing. So anybody that's a salty dog
Mhm.
has my vote.
Mhm.
I love it.
He's got
Good old, yeah.
this beard and no mustache. He's
Yeah, no, I used to wear the exact same type of style, just like
Perfect. What does Egiana call him? A well set up man?
I don't know.
This is a
I'm
comment at the
joking.
end
I
of.
didn't.
Listen, pirates
I know.
pirates in actuality not hot. Pirates in theory very
Yeah.
hot.
So like I usually grow out a beard like this, and then occasionally I do have to shave it all off, but I'll always put on. I'll do weird designs before actually. I'll come out of the bathroom and show my wife because I'll do like the whole entire like the
Yeah.
I'll do all sorts of crazy stuff. And my wife would like get back in the bathroom and shave it all off.
You're just not allowed.
Gus
to
had
shave.
buttons for a while because he was in.
It was in a
Bars,
different
also-
production.
A different production of Pride and
from
Prejudice.
This one.
Gus gets cast in like every production of Pride and Prejudice, and then also plays every Nazi. Those
Yeah,
are
well,
his two typecasts.
I've
stage,
tried
that
out
happens.
to be an extra before, and they've never taken my application because
Okay,
they
keep
shoot
pushing.
a lot of stuff right here in Virginia.
Yeah.
But when you're trying for an extra, you don't even put a tape in. You just put a headshot and
I'm here for Galad. Wait, sorry. quick
Background
call.
work is
Yeah, it's, nah.
Galad is.
So
Galad
I've
is the
been-
perfect choice. I'm here for
I've-
that.
I've been the background of a movie, but not because I was hired, because I was a fucking troll. And sorry, we're on YouTube. I'm not supposed to cuss. So
You can cuss.
Yeah,
We don't care.
Yo, you
Yeah.
fucking cuss all you fucking want to.
I called her
Okay,
Elsie
cool.
motherfucking Grinwell.
I didn't realize that.
We'd
so,
only judge
yeah,
you if
so
maybe, not even really, if your kids
So
were around,
there's-
but
what's the name of it? A New World. It's with Colin Firth. It was a really bad movie. It was about like Jamestown and the first settlers coming over. But Colin Firth was in it. That was the big actor. But they shot it here in Virginia, actually in Jamestown, and we decided to go try to drive our motorboats in the background of the shot, and we got scared off by police. But there actually is one shot in the film where you can see the wake of our boat.
oh,
Because I guess in the editing they weren't able to cut it out, so I'm like, we affected the film. I'll take it.
There you go. It counts. It counts. You're in a movie.
We're
You're a
trying to
movie
shoot
star.
fireworks. It was Ian and I. So
yeah.
Oh, sure.
it was college days too. So.
Yeah. We got to do that. We were background in a couple of Chicago-based shows. We've been in the background of Empire.
Empire.
I was the dead guy of the week on Chicago PD once.
I think I did
You have told
Chicago
that
Med
story.
at one point.
Med.
Yeah. The dead guy. The dead guy of the week is the best story, but we can't do it again.
We've told it before. You can
Yeah.
but you know who's never been dead guy of the week? Galadriel Damodred.
He's very much alive.
He is alive.
Unlike his dad
Did he win?
and his mom.
I mean,
He
obviously,
obliterated the competition.
Beliterated.
Yeah.
Allie was heartbroken. Actually, was
That's
because
because I find him kind of annoying.
I don't think it was that. It
Like-
wasn't actually that much of a blowout.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I
In
thought
fact,
it would be a
was-
lot.
It was fairly close.
Was
More
Els
unforgiving.
close? Or was Balzzaman?
Well, he was 18% ahead of the next person, but even so, that means that Bale and Elsie took more than half of the votes themselves from
okay.
him. He ended up with 46%.
Now, when
Oh,
this
wow.
cup started, I was like, I'm going to be impartial. I'm never going to campaign for anybody. Like, whoever wins, who wins. And then I saw my girl Elsie losing, and I was like, this can't happen. So I may have campaigned really hard
Good.
for Elsie. It might have
And
been a
then
little
Bill-
over the top.
So Bill Doming dropped to third because of
He
Sorry.
didn't lose by much.
Listen. If
I
it
was
was
heart-
anyone
this
else,
was a heartbreaker of a round. I'll be honest. You know, I was really, I didn't know who to vote for. I didn't know who to want to win because I had a feeling
Broke my
Galad
heart.
would. Sorry.
yeah,
aged grandma.
Yeah, I know. What will she do? How will she get
his
rides?
aged grandma will come.
She wasn't getting rides from him before because she doesn't give anything away for free. But
Yeah. Well,
and that may be true in the bedroom as well.
I was. It might be. We don't know.
Speculate.
He's a
wildly.
well set up man.
Yeah,
You know what?
Bill
I didn't find him
Properly
hot.
set up man.
I didn't find him hot until he checked out Egianin, and then I
That's
was like,
the funniest thing.
"Hello,
Mm.
Do you remember that scene in at the end of book 4?
brazen."
I enjoyed that.
It was brazen. And she's like in a pilgrim outfit, like basically like
So-
a pilgrim's nightie.
Bill's story arc is so disjointed that like I can't speak on it because I have no idea where it is.
That's
and
fair.
Where should, yeah. So I'm like,
Last thing he did was
because he
was
shows up
check out
randomly in
Egianin.
every book. Like
shows
every
up-
book, Bill Doman shows up, and I'm like, I know she's on book 5. I have no idea where she is in Bale's story. Like
Last thing he did was check out Egianin, and I was
So
like,
so we had the riverboat, and then he didn't get them out of Falma, and then he met them in Tanchico, and
Right.
was very very helpful.
Okay.
For pretty much the entire time, and then he checked out Egianin, and then they took the sad bracelets, and they're gonna go drop them in the ocean.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now.
Cool.
But
So
yeah,
it's one of those things where I have no idea.
it's
Yeah.
okay. I never know. The only reason I know where we're at is because I'm reading it actively.
Sure.
It's true.
We talked to Ian, we talked to
Half the time I don't
to
even know
Danny,
where
and
we're
I go
at.
like, can I say, oh my god, this is really hard. I
It's
don't know what to say."
stressful.
It's very
Because
hard.
I don't know. From chapter to chapter, I don't know sometimes. So I mean, I remember like the important stuff.
Now Galad has that cannon hot, right? But what do we
Mhm.
think?
But he's pretty.
He's a pretty boy.
He's a pretty boy.
He's
pretty
and he's a prince. That's hot.
John Hamm's character
He's
in
sword fights well. That's
30
hot.
Rock. Well, not well,
Clearly,
no.
he's hot. Like all the Aes Sedai are salivating over
No,
him.
I picture so you want to like put like another fantasy example. Like I picture Galad like as a is it Loras in Game of Thrones? Is that
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Loras is the one,
the
the
Prince
younger
of
brother,
Tyrell,
the one,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, he's a Tyrell.
with the curly hair.
With the curly hair that's gay, that
Yeah.
He's in love with
yeah,
Renna.
it's the pretty boy. But as I picture Galad, which not hot, it's just that he's pretty.
It's a different
pretty,
thing, right?
Yeah,
It's a
he's
different thing.
pretty.
He's not handsome. He's pretty.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very good point.
I kind of
Yeah.
picture him as like an Orlando Bloom. Like Orlando Bloom's
that's a
really
good one.
pretty,
Yeah.
and like he's got the dark curly hair.
Orlando Bloom, Lord of the Rings. Orlando Bloom now,
You mean my
He's a
sexual
little older.
awakening character? One of them?
or like Carnival Row. Orlando Bloom is a little more grittier.
Definitely the younger one. How old is Galad? I think Galad's like 27, 28.
Yeah.
Because I always
So-
find like Orlando Bloom's hot, but he's kind of like a delicate hot. Do you know
Fragile.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think I could possibly beat him up,
Well, Matt beat Galad up, so that works.
And I
You are
believe it.
Matt, so why not?
and I believe it.
So Galad's like Tobey Maguire, you know, he's the
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
I like it. I'll take it.
He's just like but he's so
Let's just keep
good,
throwing
and
names
like
out
to
there.
me,
I'm throwing
he's
random
so
names out
good
there.
that I'm
like
a
that.
little like bored. Like
Elijah Wood.
Right.
Elijah Wood's good.
That is good.
Yeah, just like very like a beautiful, kind of delicate, good with the sword. He's buff though, so he's like a buff Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Elijah Wood with his top off, so like maybe he's buff, but
Well, you have, but it's in Lord of the Rings. He's all like wormy and sick from getting
Does
bit
it
by.
does he not take his shirt off in Wilfred?
I don't know that I've seen that.
Wilfred? I've never seen it.
I'll check it out.
You never seen Wilfred?
No.
No.
Oh, it's a great show.
Well,
Check
look
it
at
out.
But he's
We're
Great
always
show. I think it was on
behind the
FX. Like he talks to his dog, but his dog's a giant man in a dog suit.
Well, that's fun.
It's fantastic. Like I love Wilfred. Yeah, he's like he goes crazy, but he doesn't know if he's crazy or not. And like his neighbor's dog is a dog to everyone else, but to him, it's a man in a wolf suit.
Oh, I remember seeing ads for that.
Oh.
I remember seeing ads for that.
And Elijah
Check it out.
Wood's it's a very, very good like psyche, like mental disorder. Yeah, it's very, very good.
Oh,
At least
interesting.
I liked it, but I'm weird. So
Me too.
I
That's the
mean-
way to be. Allie,
We're all of us mad here.
we need to talk about Elsie for a second. I know you're heartbroken. She didn't win the round. She is moving on. She's in the knockout round because she's a knockout,
I
right?
love her.
Will she take it all?
No, probably
She
not.
might.
Because my obsession for her runs deep, but I think I'm like the only person.
Why do you love Elsie so much?
Because I stan a horny bee.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love that
She's
she's
hot.
unapologetically horny.
she's hot. She's hot for the guys.
Yeah. I love that she's unapologetically horny. And she's cute. And I feel like we would party well together. Like, because I feel like, you know, and I explained this to Danny last week because Danny was like, why Elsie? And I was like, okay, you're going to the club. Who do you want to take with you? Men, like, who of the women? Elaine throws up everywhere. Like, then you have to take care of that. And talks about her ex all the time. Period. Annoying. Nynaeve doesn't want to be there, angry the whole time, and gets sick in the Uber because she can't deal with transportation. It's not because she drinks too much. In fact, she grudges you for drinking. Not fun to hang out with. Like cool on other days, but not the club. Min doesn't want to go because she just start telling everybody how they're going to die. That's not fun. Like I would go party with her, but like she'd kind of kill the vibe, right?
I
Because
think
she'd see somebody. Because
This would be
imagine,
fun.
imagine you go out.
A lot of it could be fun. She just has to not talk
But,
about
okay.
it. all the time.
I feel like Min's like tomboyish, so I think.
I
Min
also
would-
feel like that's not her scene. Like I'd hang out with her like at a coffee shop, not at like a
Yeah,
club.
okay.
But also, imagine you get all cute and dressed up. You go see Min, and she looks at you like this. Ready to go? Like no, I don't like it. Who am I missing? Egwene would be like, stop drinking so much, and then be drinking like way too much.
That's a good point.
Yeah, she'd be judging me for how much I'm drinking while drinking way too much, and then I have to take care of her.
Mhm. So you got
Elsie.
Elsie.
Great
Yeah.
time. Probably will ditch you at the club for somebody, but great time until then. That's my.
She'll disappear. You have no idea what happened. She went home with a random guy.
Yeah, but she'd text you first. She'd let you know that she was leaving. Yeah, she's not like that. But like she'd be like, I'm going, and I'd be like,
I met this
Go.
guy like 5 minutes ago. He's the one.
Yeah.
And then she disappears. Yeah.
yeah. I would totally hang with Elsie.
Galad took
Also,
this
she's funny.
handily. Elsie did come in second with about 30% of the vote. So your campaigning did something.
I
It
think
knocked out Bale
I felt
Balzzaman
bad
and
after
Alan
the fact. I
Istat.
was like, I shouldn't have done that, but I also
That's a
don't
twin.
care.
Let's talk about
sorry.
non-finals that are coming up. We already talked about one of them. We also have Rand versus Dane versus Min.
Which I think will be interesting.
It's gonna be tough. I think.
Rand versus Dane versus Men.
I know.
I think I'd give it. I mean, I hate to say it. I think I'd give it to Min.
I
think Min's
do
gonna win
too.
I would give it to Dane, hands down.
it. It's hands down.
We probably won't even
Dane.
run this poll because it's a
We
waste of
just
time.
really
It's a
love
waste
a
of time.
drunk with
Dane
daddy
wins.
issues. And you
I
know
think-
what?
I
I'm
do
not
think
going to
Min.
apologize.
I do think probably Min will pull ahead with this one, which is fine. And then the other one is we talked about Lanfear's Perrin, Uno, and Galad. Now that's hard.
I give it to Perrin.
I would give it to Perrin too.
Really?
I think Galad's gonna win, but I give it to
don't
Perrin.
know. I don't know. You know, because you like to say that Galad has big white cloak energy.
Big. He had the manual.
Yeah.
Big white cloak energy. He's blasting it out of every orifice. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. No, this is just gonna be a white cloak, no question. And that is like 0% hot to me.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, to each their own.
Bad
Opinions are allowed.
taste.
But yeah, I could see any of that. Well, that's our.
So I'm wondering, does that mean I'm gonna hate both of the hand boys?
well, you
yes.
hate Gawain
Oh,
so much.
no question. Who? Don't know him.
Gawain.
So
So you've already made it past the fall of the White Tower because you made it through Shadow Rising.
And when I
So-
tell you, I
wait.
screamed. Okay.
So when we first met Gawain, that episode, I had a content creator as my co-host. It was John from What Up, was our content creator that came on for that episode.
Yeah.
When Rand fell into the garden, Eye of the World, and towards the end of the episode, Ian turns and goes, "Yeah, Gawain really Alan reminds me of him." And I was like, and then John just busted up laughing, and I'm like, that was the biggest insult. It's like, what? Gawain seems like a good guy. I was like,
she said the same thing.
yeah,
I thought he was
I
just
know
like a
what
funny
Gawain
dude.
is,
Yeah.
but-
I thought he seemed like a cool, like I was like, I would hang out with him. He seems like easygoing, fun to be around. He's got jokes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I thought I have never been
super
so
offensive.
betrayed in my whole life. I was so upset. I was like, oh, like days before. Because I had been predicting that something was gonna happen to Swan forever. Like
Sure.
from the minute I met her, I was like, you're either gonna be I thought she was gonna get assassinated. I was calling it Swan
Yeah.
assassination.
Yeah.
And then there was like when Min saw her naked, I was like, oh wait, but they say stripped of the stole, and then like then they still you. So I was like, oh, maybe it's like a metaphor. So then I was predicting that Swan was gonna get stilled. Excuse, I'm right. Okay, but then I lost where I went.
You were talking about Gawain,
I was talking about Gawain. Oh,
your least favorite thing.
then so I wasn't surprised by it happening, but I was still very upset, of course, because you can know something's going to happen and still be upset. And then Gawain like pulled the rug out from under me. I could not believe I had been so blind. I shouldn't say blind. I couldn't believe that I had not seen that coming. Because, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, but you only got like who was cool in the Trecan family from Elaine, who is biased as
She's not gonna like the guy who snitched on her whole life.
Well, and Min kind of like threw him under the bus too, because she was like, he's gonna do what's right no matter
That's
who
not
it hurts.
inherently a bad thing.
Galad. And then said nothing about Gawain's betrayal behavior. I was so pissed. Anyway.
That's our polls for the week of the folks.
Oh
we
wait,
discussed.
also read the other final
the
quarterfinal,
other
because those are gonna be fun
non-finals?
too. And Alan doesn't know,
Yeah, here's the other people we got that
and
moved
some
on
other
last
people
week.
might not know.
Okay.
We have Lan versus Amis versus Avienda.
Avienda.
Who's in here
Avienda?
trying to tell me that Gawain's not that
Land.
bad?
I think Amis is gonna follow that round.
I think
love-
Amis is out.
I love Amis,
kidding.
but I think
Yeah.
she's out.
I don't
It's-
think that's
it's even
gonna-
later on.
Wait, say it again, because I
Lan,
missed
Amis,
it because
Avienda.
I was distracted.
Lan, Amis, Avienda.
Lan, Amis, Avienda.
It's Lan and Avi. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna
I
be
think that's going to be an interesting one though, because
Yeah.
I'm like either of them could take it, and they're both kind of stoic. So I'm like,
they've got it going for them in different ways.
yeah,
You know,
like
Yeah.
Avienda
I mean,
to me in terms
love
of
I love Avienda.
build is like what's her name, Katie Sackhoff in
Yeah.
in the Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica, Starbuck. Like to me, that's because they've got to be strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? These maidens of the spear. So that, and I find Katie Sackhoff to be quite attractive. So
We've got Aludra versus Rourke versus Morgaze.
Aludra versus
Rourke
versus
wins
Rourke.
that.
Rourke wins that, you think?
Yeah.
Over Morgaze?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
do you love Morgaze? I mean, I think she was in a prod. Don't get me wrong. She's like one of those like women that age really, really well.
Mhm.
But Rourke has that.
It's Rourke.
Rourke is
It's Rourke.
It's Rourke. I mean, it's Rourke.
I have a
Rourke, it's
lot
just,
of feelings about Rourke.
And do you? I didn't know that. Wow. And
That stare with Amis
I did know that.
was
That's-
charged.
And finally, we have Nynaeve, Logain, and Tom.
Logan.
Logain,
You
you
don't
think?
have to apologize, Jonathan. I'm not
Yeah,
actually.
I mean,
mad at
that's my gut. My gut says Logan right away. Nynaeve second. Tom. I love Tom. I don't think Tom's hot.
you. Wait,
I love
say that
Tom.
again.
Logain, Nynaeve, and Tom.
Sorry, I have an auditory
That's okay.
processing disorder, so sometimes I have to hear things more than once. Nynaeve, Logain, and Tom. I think Logain's got that one.
Yeah, Alan agrees.
Yeah.
I think Logain is.
Logan.
It's. I love Nynaeve. Love
I
Tom.
love Nynaeve too. Yeah.
Logain is again. It's Logain, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
because it's all subjective.
Maybe people don't like the broody.
It is. It is. We
I
don't. I
like
don't
it.
get any say.
I
Allie
like
gets
it.
one say.
Logain is kind of
And
dangerous.
that's
it.
our bracket for this week, Alan.
Okay.
So if you want to tell people, if for those who don't know, how they can keep in touch with you and the Wheel
Oh, sure.
Reads.
Yeah. Well, you can just go to thewheelreads.com. That's our website. It actually has links to everything. So our Discord, our Patreon, our Twitter, Facebook, everything. So that's the easiest thing. I used to put all the links in my podcast, and then I bought the URL.
There you go.
And then just instead of making my own website, I'll do a quick plug real fast. I just chatted Nablus and said like, hey, I heard you're making a website called The Great Blight. And rather than creating my own website, he was already going to do that. So thewheelreads.com just goes to my page on The Great Blight.
Perfect.
So I just linked that and it has everything. So
You have the domain. You didn't have to do too much of the work.
yeah,
That's the way to do it.
I own the domain and it just redirects you to thegreatblight.com that has our content creator page. And so if you guys haven't checked out that, check it out. Thegreatblight.com. You can see all of you guys are on there, right?
I'm not sure. I had to check.
The Great Blight.
I forget what we've done and what we.
If you're not on it,
Are
you
we?
need to be.
We will look into that. Thank you for
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah,
the
so the Great
reminder.
Blight, there's a place where you can actually fill out a form and you can be on there.
We'll have to do that. I don't think I've done that before. Thank you.
What is? Wait, I'm confused.
Well, no,
Wait,
you're
you'll
welcome.
explain to me later. What
I'll
that
tell you,
is.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
run
Okay.
through.
Okay.
It's Nameless created his own website and there's a place where people can find content creators.
All right.
That's really
So-
cool.
And also it has a wiki too for and it's supposed to be safe for first time readers as well. So
A very important thing
That's so important
our
for
podcast.
yeah,
neither of
And,
us. No.
for you,
yeah.
your first time reading.
Um,
No, I've definitely read that. No.
I'd recommend going and checking that out because but that's what thewheelreads.com guys do. So has all our links there. Feel free to Yeah.
And you're doing a
Sure,
best weapon, a fantasy weapon poll.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know what any
and-
of them are, but I love it.
yeah, and I don't know a lot of them either. So I mean, a lot of them are like. So when I did this last year, I had hardly any. Like we were only 3 months into our podcast, and I didn't have many followers. And I just went to Google and I just typed in like fantasy weapons, and found a random 64 list. And this year, I definitely started diving more deep, get suggestions from a Discord and a bunch of different places, and created 128 lists of weapons.
Wow.
And then I still missed some because people were like, well, is this weapon from this show or this place? I'm like, no, I don't have that. I'm sorry. Next year. So
It's
this is our
asymptotic.
this is our second time doing it. It's fun. We're down to the round of 32. I like you said, doing brackets and spreadsheets a lot. In fact, I have a whole entire Twitter account. That's actually, a lot of people don't know this. I actually have a whole entire Twitter account that's not Wheel of Time related. That's all I do is brackets. So
What's that? What's the handle for that one?
It's fun_random_polls. So fun random polls. Yeah, and it's I do that as well. Right now, it's the poll it's running right now is best fantasy sci-fi book, and next month is best HBO series. So
All right.
they're not necessarily Wheel of Time related, but it's fun.
They're fun and they're random and they're polls.
They're fun and they're random. They're fun.
Amazing.
Love
Well,
it.
thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. It's been a pleasure to have you join us for this discussion. And everyone, make sure to continue to follow the polls on Twitter. Vote when you can.
Yeah.
Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you can too. It makes a huge difference.
It sure does.
And again, we're Wheel Takes. You know where to follow us here and all the social medias.
And support them. These guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
you
The
are
support Wheel
No,
Reads too.
no. But you guys are really awesome. You guys need more love. So
You're very
support
kind.
these guys.
So nice.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
That's so nice. Well,
All right.
thank you so much, Alan, for being a part of this. We really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And we are going to
Well, thanks for
sign
having me.
off. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.